Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel if you've been here before, or welcome if you're new here. For those of you who are back, I really appreciate your support on my channel, and I just see your messages, everyone that I know just like giving me so much encouragement and love for making this channel and just creating things. So you know who you are, I love you, and thank you for the encouragement. Today's video is going to be a little different. I am doing a Facebook Marketplace makeover. My brother really liked the table that I remade for my husband, the green, the gold, and the wood stain. So since it's going to be so similar to that one, I thought it'd be really cool if I did a sort of story time while I painted it. That way it's a little more interesting maybe. Also, my bird is right in the corner, and if you hear somebody talking, it's probably just him, and he's just chilling now. Seems pretty cozy. But I found this beautiful vintage side table on Facebook Marketplace for about $60. It was a little pricey, to be honest, because after some inspection I realized that it had a lot of damage to it. Maybe some water damage too, because the wood just kind of chipped off in some places after sanding it down. But I knew that I could fix it, and before anybody gets upset that it's vintage and I'm painting over it, if that bothers you, don't continue watching, because that's gonna happen. So I will be painting over this wood, and the top's gonna be stained, but the bottom half will be painted. So I hope that you stay and see the end result at the end of the video. For the stain, I used the same kind of stain, the dark walnut poly stain, Varathane brand, and it still turned out pretty nice. Table, I'm going to be using a darker green, and this is Dixie Belle's Collard Greens. So my brother really likes this kind of like the darker, dramatic and dark wood tones. So we're going to be working, that's going to be the vibe, just very dramatic, dark academia. Anytime I think of dark academia, I think of my brother. So we're gonna be doing that. Okay, so today I'm gonna be telling you the story of when I had my first few seizures. And I do take medication, but I haven't had a seizure since 2013. But I'm gonna tell you, oh, that's so beautiful. I'm gonna tell you the story of when I had my first seizure. My story begins in 2010, I wanna say 2010 or 2011. This is when I graduated in 2008, is when I graduated high school. And I decided to take a year off of school because I had no idea what I wanted to study. And that is what led me to go to school about an hour away from where my parents lived and where I grew up. And I went to school for interior design. Interestingly enough, because that is still a passion of mine. My first year was amazing. I actually ended up living with my best friend at a house, a family's house, and this family is distantly related to me, which is funny, but it was such a great year. I had such a good time, met new people, made friends, just really enjoyed myself and enjoyed school. I was really excited for my second year. Well, that summer, I was home by myself, and I remember my my mom's sister and her husband, my aunt and uncle, were visiting us from Brazil. And they decided to go out and go shopping one day. And instead of going with them, I decided to stay back and clean my car. So my car was in the garage, and the car wasn't on or anything. The garage was open. I was home by myself, and all of a sudden I just get super dizzy. And I was super confused. The next thing I know, it was a very hot summer day, and I ended up just seeing all black, and it felt like my head was just spinning, and then I don't remember anything else after that. And I woke up super disoriented. I had no idea what had just happened. I just figured I had just passed out, and that was it. But I remember my phone was inside the house, and I could not figure out how to get inside the house, even though like the front door was locked, but the door leading into the house from the garage was open, and the garage door was open, but I was trying to get in from the front door, and I was like banging on the door because I was so disoriented. And plus I had no idea what had happened to me. I forgot no one was home. Like, it was insane. It was like the worst feeling ever. Very traumatizing. Something I don't wish on anyone. And I somehow was able to get inside the house from the garage door, and my phone was literally on the table, and my brain could not, the wires were not connecting to pick up my phone and call my family. So I somehow picked up the house phone, and I first called my mom, and I don't think her cell phone was on. So that was kind of scary, and I didn't know who else to call, so I called my dad, and he was at work. Poor guy. I think I gave him a heart attack because he came rushing home from work, and I was on the couch just crying, thinking I have no idea what happened. And he was like, "Where did Mom and Tia and Tew go?" And I had just explained to him that they went shopping, and I think they're nearby, but Mom doesn't have her phone on her. So he went to the store they were at and searched for them until he found them. And they came rushing home, and everybody was super worried about me, and I went to the doctor like right away. And this doctor was not good. Let's just say that. He ran some tests and said, "Oh, you have hypoglycemia. You probably just passed out from having low blood sugar," which I have hypoglycemia, low blood sugar. And so that was that. He was like, "Oh yeah, just watch your sugar, eat protein, and work out, whatever." He was not a good doctor, let's just say that. Well, so a month later, I was home. Isn't this color so beautiful? Later, I was getting ready in the morning to go somewhere. I don't remember where it was. I remember this was still in the summer, so I had not gone back to college yet. I was just chilling in my hometown with my family. I was getting ready in the bathroom, and I think I was just putting my makeup on, so the door was open, and my brother and I were chatting about something, I think. And all of a sudden I get the same sensation, that spinning feeling, and then I just blacked out. And I woke up in an ambulance. Like they stuck the IV in my hand, in my arm, I think, and that's how I woke up. So that was another traumatizing experience when you have no idea what is going on, and then when you come out of it, there's just a whole bunch of paramedics around you. And my mom was in the back of the ambulance next to me, like trying really hard to stay strong, and she said, you know, you had a seizure, everything's gonna be okay. And it was very scary because, you know, when you hear seizure, you're like, oh my gosh, you know, what kind of seizure? Why would I have a seizure? What's wrong with my body? You just have all these thoughts in your head. And so yeah, we went to the hospital. They ran a whole bunch of tests. By the way, this brush is not good. This keeps coming off of it, so I don't even think it has a brand. Oh yeah, it does. Symphony. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. Anyways, we were on our way to the hospital, and I did an EEG, so that's like when they put wires in your brain, and they do like flashing lights, which I hated so much, and then they did a scan of my brain, and thankfully it wasn't a tumor. I didn't have anything like that, but the test did show basically signs of epilepsy, and they just said the reason was it was hereditary, because I have some forms of seizures on my mom's side, and then my first cousin had seizures and outgrew them, so on my dad's side. That was kind of disheartening because I was like, how is it hereditary and how do I fix this? Like, I don't want to have seizures and I don't want to be on medication for the rest of my life, but here we are. So anyways, that day was a blessing from God. So we have a doctor that goes to our church in town that had walked past, and he had seen me in the bed and stuff, and he was so confused, like, what are you doing here? And then we told him the story, and he's actually really close with my neurologist, so he was able to make an appointment straight away with this neurologist. And that was definitely like, that was a God thing for sure, because I guess people usually have to wait weeks or months, and I had mine like a few days later, my appointment. So I'm just so thankful for that doctor, and for God's timing, because it just worked out the way it was supposed to. I'm okay now, like I'm taking medicine, and I have only had one seizure, and that was in, I think 2014, and that was when I was having a very stressful nanny job. Nothing was good enough, let's just say that. So I remember one day I had just forgotten to take my medicine, and I'm supposed to take it in the morning and at night, and I just forgot that day. And I remember being in pain. I have lower back pain or mid back pain if I ever forget to take my medication. Wow, it's raining hard. But anyways, when I forget to take my medication, I have like mid back pain, and my brother would always make fun of me because I would say, my kidneys hurt. Why do my kidneys hurt? And he's like, what kind of person says their kidneys hurt? Which is true, like, that's a weird thing to say. And I was just chilling in the basement at my parents' house, just organizing and stuff. And all of a sudden, that same sensation, blackout, spinning down, happens. And the next thing I know, I'm sitting in the living room upstairs with a whole bunch of paramedics staring at me while I'm sitting on the couch. And that's when I came to. And at that point, I was just like, I had a seizure. I was like so nonchalant about it, and I knew what had happened, and I wasn't scared. I just kind of like knew what to expect. and they just wanted to make sure, they took me to the hospital to make sure, like, it wasn't, like, my seizures getting worse, you know, but that was on me, and I ended up quitting that job because my health is more important than a job that stresses me out that much. And that's something that maybe some of you need to hear. No job is worth risking your health. So if you're stressed and not taking care of yourself, get out of that job. You are important and you need to take care of yourself. Find a job that is not that bad. So anyways, that was my epilepsy story, and I have not had one since, thank the Lord, but he has been good to me. And something else I want to mention is that God really, really, really was just showing me how blessed I am in that season of life, because I couldn't drive for 6 months after I had my seizure. I don't know if many people know that, but you have to, once you're getting used to your medication, you have to make sure you're not having seizures, or else, like, you can't drive. And during that time, that was like my second year after that summer when I had my seizures. It was a very stressful time in my life, and I didn't feel alone, mostly because God just put so many amazing people in my life. And I'm getting emotional just thinking about it, but it was definitely a hard time, and God was there through those people. And another thing was the other family that I lived with. The daughter would always offer to drive me to school because she was going to the same university as me, and she would drive me back, and we bonded, and now she lives closer to me than before with her husband. And then another thing is, one of my friends lived maybe like down the street, and he offered to take me to school. There's just like so many people willing to help and be there for me, and it just really showed God's hands and like how his children uplift each other and always want to be there for each other. And it was an amazing experience, even though it was hard. So if you guys enjoyed this type of video where I work on something and give you a story time, let me know, because I enjoyed it. It was actually nice to kind of relive all that I went through. Even though it was hard times, God showed himself in those situations, and I love those stories. So yeah, let me know if you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in the next video. My cousin Amanda has her own YouTube channel. She's Canadian, and she talks about her issues after her concussion. So if you want to hear all about it, you should definitely check out her channel. I will leave it in the link. I'll leave the link in the description box. Her channel is called Amanda's Trying, and I just love watching her videos. I think that's all I had to say. So thanks for watching. This is the child that would not stop talking. He's mad. Oh, because I'm holding this. I forgot I was holding this. I'm scared. Say hi, P. Hi. So after painting the green, I went over with some wax on the green paint. And then when that dried, I just used some Rub and Buff and painted it along the edge of the top of the table. And then I did a little bit of accents on the legs and the bottom part, because my brother said the more gold, the better. So I just went crazy, and he ended up really loving this. So that makes me happy. That makes him happy. We're all happy. and it's a good day. This table is actually going to go in my brother's office since he bought a new house and he wants me to paint his walls. So I'm really excited. I might ask him if he's okay with me making a video while I paint it and kind of fix up his office a little bit as a little gift. So we'll see what he says and what I find for his office. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. I have one more makeover that I want to do for my brother, and he doesn't know that I'm doing this, so I can't reveal it yet because he might watch this video. So stay tuned for the next video, hopefully, and I will show you what that is. I'll see you next time.